Welcome back to Most Amazing. Here are the top 10 ancient secrets most people don't know about, part 2. More secrets incoming. Oh. Kicking off the list at number 10, ancient hockey. Being a Canadian and all, I had to kick this list off with this one. This one kind of hurt my soul, I'm not gonna lie. We found out that hockey wasn't our thing during Canada's 150 celebration. How epic is that? Great timing, that's amazing. I'm cold a lot of the time living in Canada. My face hurts when I walk to the store and get my weird bagged milk, then I return back to my igloo. I'm cold all the time, right? That's the idea, that Canadians are cold, they play hockey, and they live in igloos. Well, pretty much, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Hockey isn't just our favorite winter activity, turns out Vikings loved it as well. Vikings actually brought it here in the first place, believe it or not. They didn't even call it hockey too, they called it a way better name. They called it slap fatten, which means to slap the fat around. How amazing is that? Me and the boys are gonna go play some road slap and fatten. Taylor, what happened to your knee? Oh, I got a slap and fatten road ration. Yeah, I wasn't careful enough playing slap and fatten. I got checked. Vikings would get sticks and try and slap some fat in between 2 posts of some way, shape, or form. Imagine getting cross-checked by a Viking. See you later, chest plate. Bye. To the penalty box you go, Bjorg, or whatever your name is. Number 9, government sauna sessions. Over in Finland, they're changing the sauna game. The sauna is considered a national institution, and it's a large part of both Finnish and Estonian cultures. These saunas are commonly found surrounding Finland's lakes, corporate headquarters, and the Parliament House. Yeah, those 3 places, that's where you'll find a sauna. Just naked people hanging out. Saturday in Finland is the traditional sauna day. It's not the day for the boys, it's actually the day for the sauna. We're gonna get our towels for this one. I can't even fit into a bathtub. Also, I look like an octopus trying to escape out of a jar. It's not a relaxing Saturday for this guy at all. I would go to Finland, I would do this. When government leaders can't agree on an issue, they take it to the sauna. In the middle of passing a bill, dudes will just be naked, passing out. Finns describe the sauna as a secret weapon behind their diplomatic advances. It's just, hey, you won't believe number 4. Get naked and get hot. Director of the Finnish Employers Confederation described the ritual, saying that it's easier to discuss problems openly. It's like when you were doing a presentation in class and they would say to imagine everybody naked. Well, this was that played out in real life. Take away the briefcase and tie, you're just a naked dude sitting on a bench talking about inflation. Who are we, you know? We're just a bunch of naked people. We all look stupid. Number 8, ancient eye drops. Does anybody else just sneeze every time they look at the sun? Am I allergic to the sun? Is that it? Is that just me? My eyes are always dry. I think I forget to blink sometimes. I have all the screens around me and all these lights, so maybe all day I'm like, I'm not sure what's going on, but today there's a Visine for literally everything in the book. Eye drops are common now, but written in the oldest book of medicine, the Ebers Papyrus, chock full of ancient Egyptian medical recipes, and it contained old ophthalmic treatment. Even in Egyptian artwork, you can find ancient cataract treatments, like just paintings of this. British archaeologist Austin Henry Layard found these clay tablets from ancient Babylonia around 625 BC, and treatment for dry eyes was a little different than today. Today, all we have to do is then you're good. Back then, they would use chemicals from mixed plants with prayers, essentially. So good luck. One ancient tablet described the treatment at the time, saying, if a man's eyes are affected with dryness, he shall rub an onion, drink it in beer, and apply oil to his eyes. Like, what is it even, huh? Thou shalt disembowel a yellow frog, mix its gall and curd, and apply to the eyes. I don't even know what that means. Like, imagine reading that on a prescription, know what I mean? It's like take twice with food. Also, I need a yellow frog. What is this? Why is this a riddle? What is this? Number 7, ancient shampoo. When my hair grew out over the pandemic, I had a huge wake-up call. I don't know how to handle this. I still don't know. I see it in the prompter here, and I'm like, what do I do? Do I put it back? Do I shave it? I don't know. My whole life, all I knew was the classic 4-in-1 shampoo for guys. You know, it's like conditioner, shampoo, mouthwash, whatever, all in one. Doesn't work. I needed shampoo and conditioner, separate things, okay? It takes time to figure out what works with your flow, with your hair flow, but the ancient Romans, they didn't have time, or Head and Shoulders. They would dip their hair in cold water at a public bathhouse, so also ew, and then they would rub and scrape away oils. Lime water was also used to wash your hair, but that was just as useful as lime wire. Sometimes Europeans wouldn't even use water at all to rinse. They would just rub their head with bran before bed and then brush it out with a comb in the morning. Bran, I would be itching my head all night. That's horrible. I used dog shampoo once by accident when I was younger, and honestly, there's something they're not telling us. I felt too good after. I felt too smooth. I was like, wait a minute, this is way too heavy. Number 6, cursed freckles. Oh, this next one hurts. If you have freckles, I'm sorry, but I have to share. There's some people out there that don't like us, apparently. I love my freckles. Every summer they pop harder, better, faster, and stronger. But back in the day, there were some pretty insane methods to get rid of them. I know, right? How could you? Having freckles in ancient Roman times meant that you couldn't participate in your favorite magical rituals. Sorry, Balthazar, I have freckles, I can't come. Having freckles meant that you were impure or polluted. In ancient Greece, having a beauty mark on your cheek meant that a bright future was in store for you. How lucky, must be nice. Medieval Europe, moles or freckles meant that you were for sure a witch. Not as great, that one's not good at all. Ancient China, if you had a red or black mole, that was a good sign, but a brown mole, that was grave warning signs in there. So depending where and when you were, that freckle that you named when you were 7 could have literally changed your life. In places where freckles weren't desirable, sulfur was used daily to get rid of them. No, we don't recommend lathering your face with sulfur here at all. In fact, I think magical rituals are safer than sulfur, in fact. Number 5, sailors' toilets. Life on the sea wasn't easy in ancient times. Even today, you know how hard it is to take a crap on a boat? Have you ever had to use the washroom on a rocking boat? Like number 2? You have to try and wipe. It's just, I don't know, you're doing this a lot. Whale watching's fun and games until your stomach's like, no, you're done. Get out. While it's a rockin' and rollin' way of using the loo, how did sailors do it back in ancient times? Was it easier being far away from the general public, and was it helpful that water was just splashing all over the place? Honestly, not really. If you have to use number 2 out in the sea, that's when a tow rag would come into play. Yeah, anytime the word rag's used, I'm like, ooh, you're not in for a good time, my friend. Near the head of the ship, where the toilet was, or rather just a hole into the ocean, there was a single rope with a rag. When it's not being used, or shared rather, the rag would be tossed over the side of the ship, so it would just wash away all the yuck. It would just wash away all day, which is fine, I think. The sharing is caring thing, not on board for, pun intended. Do you fold, do you scrunch, or do you use barnacle rope? Sound off below. Number 4, really old socks. Somebody got me socks as a gift over the holidays, and I'm not gonna lie to you, couldn't be more thrilled. Still the best gift ever. Socks and lip balm, there's nothing you can't do. That's it, that's all you could ever ask for. Socks in ancient Greece were not light on the left and right feet. No, not at all. There weren't neon green athletic socks that you have today, nothing like that, not even close. Socks came around in the 8th century BC. They were made fresh from animal hairs. This led to Romans tying animal skins around their feet and then tying those together. Cut to the 2nd century AD in ancient Rome, the sock game started to get real. Romans began using fabrics instead of animal skins. Score, it was softer, lighter, and then later in the 5th century, socks were worn only by the most holy. Excuse me while I put on my holy socks. And not in that way, haha. Holy socks, get it? It's a pun, you got it. Socks were associated with the church. They were considered a symbol of purity. You have freckles and socks on, they're like, I don't know what this guy wants. I don't know, he's giving off mixed messages here. Socks would go all the way up to your leg too, a little different than the Vans ankle socks that I'm currently wearing today with my boots. One of them is half off in my foot right now. I can feel it, it's just sliding just away from me as I'm doing this list. Number 3, King Tut. One of the greatest mysteries is of course the history of the young King Tut. The young boy became pharaoh at just age 9. Age 9, he was 9 years old, back in 1332 BC. During his time of ruling, the young king had to face a country in conflict. It wasn't easy at all. Egypt and Nubia were going head to head over land, and not even 10 years into ruling, the young pharaoh died at just age 18. How sad is that? It wasn't until 1922 until he was seen again. Howard Carter discovered the tomb of the lost king appropriately in the Valley of the Kings. And this is where we could have been a bit more careful, historically speaking, when Tut was discovered. They tried to move his body out of the oil that coated the coffin that he was stuck in, but in doing so, they damaged him. They damaged this ancient mummy that we've been looking for literally thousands of years. So now it's next to impossible to tell what really took his life at such an early age, but we have some ideas. That's what I'm here for. It's believed King Tut had a broken leg. After some 3D scans were done, it appears the king wasn't in the best shape prior to his death. Our best guess is that he may have fallen off a chariot, one of the chariots he was buried with. King Tut passed away at age 19, so many believe that his own burial chamber hadn't even been built yet. So instead, they had to use Queen Nefertiti's. A radar survey around the tomb in the Valley of the Kings shows us a hidden chamber behind the north wall of the burial chamber, and we still haven't found her final resting place, but with the aid of technology and 3D scans, we're pretty close. We're finding new stuff every day. We literally found a lost city like a month ago. Number 2, the Great Stink of 1858. Not that ancient, but too good to ignore. You have to hear about this. It's one thing living through a pandemic, but at least we're not living through something called the Great Stink. This one's stinky. The Great Stink of 1858. Who was responsible for this one? Who did it? This was an event in central London and it lasted for a few months, in the summertime too, which is just, great for great stinks. It was so hot and dry that the Thames dried up, leaving just sewage. All the water dried up and it was just, behold, all of our crap. Literally. The smell was so bad that Parliament had to close for the day. Yeah, I wanna know who the first guy was to be like, you know what? I'm going home. He's like, no, I'm not doing this. In order to continue to work, Parliament had to soak the curtains on the riverside in lime chloride, just so they wouldn't be sick. They were on the verge of moving their entire operation to Oxford. That's how bad the smell was. They're like, should we just go away? I don't know, is that easier? While this all sounds horrible, hundreds of tons of limes were being discharged into sewers to help the smell. So if you had a stuffy nose in July 1858, you could have made 1,500 pounds a week by just throwing limes in sewers. You're like, I can't smell a thing. Ha ha ha, I'm getting rich. And finally, number 1, the first peace treaty. Unusual at the time, absolutely. The first peace treaty in history was back in 1271 BC. Now at this point, Egyptians and the Hittite Empire were fighting over modern day Syria, and this conflict had been lasting centuries, but finally, come 1274 BC, the Battle of Kadesh was underway. Tons of bloodshed, no clear victor in sight, so now what's left to do at this point? Well, the first ever official peace treaty. That's what we do. Ramses II and King Hattusili III both negotiated a peace treaty where both sides would aid each other if a third party decided to get involved in the near future. A copy of the treaty can currently be found in New York above the entrance to the United Nations Security Council chamber, and it's also in the Guinness Book of World Records as the oldest peace treaty ever, so that's how you know it's official. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those are the top 10 ancient secrets most people don't know about, part 2. If you want a part 3, let us know. Hit those thumbs up, share it, all that love, whatever, blah blah blah. I've been your host, Taylor McWaters, and I'll see you next time on Most Amazing Top 10. Peace!